Now the houses that I've shown you so far have looked like this, where they are straight up and down and narrow but quite tall, and I would recommend those really for the much younger children because they're quite easy to make. And if you look, what I've done is I've printed on the sides here, and you can see that it starts to make the house look a little bit more real. You can also always give the children the chance of drawing a picture of their own house on. And obviously when you start to put them side by side, when you manipulate them round or put a bit of thatch on the top, it starts to look like a real house. But this is something slightly different. And I'm going to show you how to make a house like this. So it's longer, it's open at the base, and as always made out of a single sheet of A4 paper with a minimum amount of cutting away. So I'll just show you how you make one of these. This is a template. What I've done is I've printed some tiles on the top, and you can see I've put lines on to show where those lines go. If I hold it like that, you should be able to see that there's a square in each corner, an oblong, like so. And these lines are, well, I'll show you what they do later. Now, I've recently been working in Guisborough with children, quite old children, in and around sort of 10 to 12 years old. And I was quite surprised at how unused they were to manipulating paper and having to fold it. So what I did was, as I've done with young children as well, is to make formers. These are just made out of cardboard. This is an old staple box, Rexel, take notice. And what you do is you just cut it so that it is 7 centimetres wide and 21 centimetres long, and you place it on top of the piece of paper like so, and you pull the former, which helps it to form the fold, and the piece of paper together, and you make a hard fold. And you can even use the former to help you to make that fold just a little bit stronger, or run your thumbnail over it. And you do the same at the other side, where you place the former and the piece of paper one on top of each other and fold it up, fold it like so. It doesn't have to be absolutely accurate. It certainly gives the children more confidence. Former again, place it on top of the paper and the card, pull it up like so, make a hard fold, and the former yet again, and you pull it up like so, and make a hard fold again. So now you've divided your piece of paper 4 squares at each corner and 2 oblongs, and you fold the whole piece of paper in half. Now that shouldn't really pose too much of a problem. Okay, so again, make a hard fold like so. This is where the cutting comes in. You cut from the fold to the line to the other fold like so, straight lines. And again, if for younger children, what you could do is, I always say that it's often easier to cut on the opposite side of the paper because the folds don't get mixed up inside of all of the colouring in. 1, 2, 3, like so. And now, if you push those roof parts in and put those one on top of each other, you can see that you have the formation of the roof on the top. The easiest way to explain it is, if you take these roof parts here, fold them up and fold that up, and what you're really trying to do is cover the squares one on top of the other, like so. Now you've got your box, but with a small slope on the top. And for young children, I would say that that was enough. You put it like that, you've got your roof, put your paper clip in. Again, with these children that I was working with, I was quite surprised at how little work they'd done with paper clips. Fantastic device to be used. You have it so that you have the 2 round parts down. Just push it like so. And there, really. bit of manipulation, you've made your basic house shape. But you can see that this house roof part isn't really that acute an angle. So what you can do is this. This is the second part. What you do is you cut. Doesn't have to be an accurate amount. You cut a little piece off there, so that when you come to fold those on top of each other, can you see there that that makes the roof just a little bit more of an acute roof size. It also means that you might have to do a little bit of snipping of the pieces that you put inside, but okay, so let's just snip a piece off. Snip a piece off. Put those again with the paper clip, 2 round pieces like that, and that I think makes a much more satisfying shape for a roof like that. Okay, so that's the basic shape, but you don't have to cut those bits off, because you can, with a bit of manipulation, make it look so that you've got a small raise in the roof arch there. But if you take that a step further, instead of it just being this one shape with only the roof, if you actually take it a little bit further, and here you put, this is a photograph I took of a Tudor house. I was doing some work on Tudor houses, of a Tudor house in Cambridge, and you put some stone patterning in the corners. It makes it look much more realistic. So let's see, I'll just make this one now quite quickly without really doing all of the talking. So this is just a little bit, just to make it a little bit easier, you can just cut those pieces off here. Doesn't have to be accurate, just a certain amount off there and there. See it? Fold these middle roof pieces up and into the structure like that. What you're trying to do is you're trying to cover the 2 squares, one with the other, like that. And the other end like that. And I've got to say, I think that that looks like a pretty accurate shape of a house. But again, if you were to cut a piece off here, a piece off here, a piece off here, a piece off here, just move those out of the way. Pull these up the side, put the clip in. That's made it a very narrow house, like that. And now you've got an in proportion house. You could choose any kind of brickwork, or you could even take a photograph of the school and put them together. But I quite like the fact that these houses here, like that, made out of a single sheet of A4 paper, if you put them beside some of the other houses, you can start to think about making it look more like a manor house without houses.